Hello? Hello, Angelos, you have a female speaking.
Hello, Angelos.
Yes, who's that, please?
It's Barry, where are you? We're supposed to be doing a podcast, aren't we?
I know, mate, I'm so sorry, I meant to tell you, but I'm laid up in hospital.
Oh, Christ, what's happened?
Yeah, no, nothing's happened, mate. Just, well, what's happened is, of course, I mean, I've got a nice bed here in the hospital, but, I've flooded my flat, you know, the one I was borrowing.
I know, you were subletting, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I was subletting it, yeah, of Mr. Majiki.
Mr. Majiki?
Yeah, I was off him. Anyway, I flooded it, and I thought I better, I better clear off for a bit, so I'll pretend he's doing my leg.
Oh, okay. So you laid up in hospital, you can't come in to do the podcast?
Can't come to do it because I'm, in bed in hospital,
Well, where did you flood the Mr. Majiku's flat, then?
Well, I went into, I'd just been, mucking around with some dog food.
Yeah.
Got it all over my fingers, because, I like to eat that sometimes. Anyway, I had it on my fingers, and I wanted to wash it off my fingers, so I went into the kitchen and turned the taps on.
Right.
Isn't it?
Well, you would, of course you would, yeah.
Yeah. So I turned the taps on, and I'm washing, and just thinking, get in the right temperature, and then I've looked round, and the women's football's on the telly.
Oh, that's how.
Yeah, I know. So I went over there, and I had a look at them, the women, and I got a bit distracted, looking at them.
Well, of course.
And then, and then by the time I turned back, they started walking all over the floor, and it's going mental, you see. Yeah. And I went over to the water, and I thought, well, I can't wash my hands in this now, so I went into the bathroom.
Yeah, of course.
So I turned the taps on there just to get, the right temperature. But I thought, while I'm waiting, I'll go back in and have another look at the women's football. Well, by that time...
Yeah, we were 2-1 up, it's getting...
2-1 up.
High stakes, yeah.
It's getting serious, isn't it? So I got into the game.
The cracks started appearing, didn't they? That's it.
Well, they did, and then they pulled their shorts up and they was okay.
Yeah.
But I went back into the bathroom and there's this water everywhere, all over the floor. So I thought the best thing to do is lock the door, and then go and to A&E and just sort of fall over outside, bang your knee.
Yeah, that's the logical thing to do, really, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's got me out of shit,
Yeah, well, so you can't come in then to do no podcast?
I can't, because I'm so ill, Angela, with my bang knee.
Okay, well, I tell you what, it gives us a chance to talk about saying things we wouldn't normally, not for public consumption, sort of thing.
I know, exactly.
It's interesting you say that about, flooding the place, being distracted by the telly. I tell you, never forget, I was, when the women's hockey was on during the 2012 Olympics.
2012 Olympics.
I had a deep fat fryer on the go. I had
cooking?
Cooking, had some chips in it. And at the same time, I had a Bunsen burner and some paraffin on the side. Of course, I got distracted. I went and moved in to watch, the ladies playing the hockey. I went, God, I come in the kitchen, it's ablaze. So I put that out and I thought, where am I going to cook my chips, sort of thing?
Your chips now,
Yeah, so we've got a little gas stove that I got out. I just got the chips and I'd stuck in a couple of pasties, deep fried pasties. And of course, I've gone in to see the women's archery that started. Yeah. I must have burnt down half of the flipping, where I live. But it's that
half the block?
Yeah, and that they will distract you, these women. I mean,
I know. It's funny because I was doing that snake charming course.
Yeah, I remember.
Remember?
I remember.
Anyway, so they let me take, well, they didn't let me take a couple of snakes home. I took them home because I wanted to get a march on the other candidates in the snake charming class. You know, I wanted to steal a march on them. Anyway, I've got it in the kitchen, I've got it in the basket, this, black cobra, right, and I've blown my pipe and that, you know, and he's coming up out of the basket, but then I look round and it's the woman's speedway from Poland is on. Yeah. You know? So I sit down there and then I start watching that, you know? And I turn round and then this cobra starts slithering out of the basket, you know? Take my eye off it, you know? Yeah, cool. So, and anyway, so I went in the kitchen and I got this, I would never say this on the podcast, so don't tell anyone I don't. No, of course. But, you know, I got this axe and I chopped its head off and I chucked it down the chute. The chute? Yeah, chucked it down the bin chute.
It's all very well. I'm all in favour of women, you know, competing in sports.
Yeah, me too.
Like men, they've got the vote now. They're allowed to drive. Yeah, they're allowed to. Yeah. But, I mean, the same thing happened to me. Do you remember my cousin Les? And he was working in that biology company, and he brought over a Tupperware.
Which one?
My cousin Les. It was a human biology company.
Oh, yes, he was. Yeah, that's it. Human biology company.
Yeah, and he brought a little Tupperware box full of AIDS. Anyway, I had it in the kitchen, do you remember? And I'd just taken the top and just have a little look, you know. And with that, I was distracted by the women's rugby on Channel 5. I had a bit I left the bloody lid on.
Well, you would be. Yeah. Because you like a bigger lady.
I like the bigger lady. Well, of course, you know, with all the grappling, and I believe there was a scrum, and, you know, they were up for the Heineken Cup. So I've walked into the living room. Before I know it, there's AIDS all over the kitchen. It's spread all over Watford and the South Hertfordshire region. You know,
well, it's funny because people thought it was Freddie Laker that spread that.
Who spread the AIDS?
Yeah, it's Freddie Laker.
Yeah. But it wasn't. It was me, distracted by the... Yeah. I mean, there was that... Do you remember that time when you had some plutonium-210?
Well, I was going to say, there was that time that, when I got that stuff from Africa, you know, that... you know, from Dr. Kawembe.
Ebola, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't one of them. It was definitely, like, nuclear stuff.
Oh, nuclear stuff, yeah.
You know, like dug it out of the ground.
I remember.
Dug out of the ground, you know? And I had that in the kitchen. I was cooking that up to try and split the atom, wasn't I? Remember?
Yes, I remember you doing that. Oh, it was way before the Hadron Colliders.
It's like years before they built that thing in Switzerland. Yeah, right? And I thought, well, I'll give it a go. And I turned all the lights off because apparently you have to do that.
Right.
You know, in the kitchen.
I wouldn't know. I'm not as au fait with it.
Right, scientists, you're not a scientist. Anyway, right, you have to turn the lights off and that, and then you have to put it in the oven, I think. Anyway, that's what it says on the internet. Yeah. Right. Anyway, I just shut the oven door, and you know, and I sort of just, and I went downstairs, you know. Yeah. I thought, because I was trying to take the rubbish out. And you know, I live next door to Dixon's.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah, so I said, you got next door to Dixon's. Yeah. And then I just, you know, they got all them tellies in the window.
Oh, God, I can see what's coming.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, the women's triathlon was on from Hawaii.
God, these inconsiderate bitches, honestly.
Oh, no, and that goes on for hours. Yeah. Hours and hours and hours. Yeah. Anyway, I'm standing and watching the transition section from running to bike. Yeah. Because I like that, you know.
I know you do, yeah.
Anyway, this thing goes bang, you know. Blew the roof off the building, and like half the street went up and that, you know. And I thought, well, I need to get out of here because otherwise you're going to discover that I've been messing around with like nuclear stuff and that.
Particle physics.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not. I mean, although I can do it, I'm not qualified to do it.
No, of
course.
Well,
and it's that sort of thing that they have you up in front of the council for.
Oh, what a black
hole! I can't afford that, and I lose my benefits, Barry.
Well, that's what I said to Margaret. We was watching a documentary on ITV 9+1 about the Hadron Collider.
Yeah.
My Margaret, she's gone, oh, what a load of rubbish. I said, what do you know about it? And I reckon she's been on the same course as you. She gets up, right, she goes, she gets up, she goes, let's chuck these couple of atoms together and see if we can recreate the Higgs boson, you see. I said,
Higgs boson, isn't it?
Yeah, the Higgs boson. I said, you silly cow, you can't do it. She goes, yeah, look, take this, she gives me an atom.
She give you an atom?
She gave me one.
She had an atom.
She had an atom. Anyway, I start watching, I turns over, what is it? It's on Channel 4, the women's sumo. Well, you know how much I like sumo. I've gone, just keep your atom. And I threw it at her, and just at that moment, she threw it at me. A bloody black hole started appearing. We went back.
In your flat in Watford?
In my flat in Watford.
Did it suck the sofa in?
There was a massive black hole appearing in Margaret's direction, and it sucked the sofa in.
The sofa went in, the telly went in.
The telly went in. You know that standard lamp I got from British Home Stores? That went in the black hole. Oh, it was. I felt awkward about it because some of the kids' photos went in off the mantelpiece.
Oh no! Did you get any of it back?
No, you don't.
Or if it come back, did it come back in another
dimension?
Way, you know, it's all bits missing off it and stuff.
There was all sorts missing off it. There's a bit of ectoplasm on it.
That's what they do. You see, when it goes through black holes, I think what happens is at the other end, there's someone there to collect it.
Yeah, and
then
it back.
if they like what they see, they'll sell bits of it. You see, they'll sell bits of it to someone else who's come along from space, and you'll be lucky. To be honest with you, Barry, you're lucky to get anything back at all, mate.
You wouldn't get much for it. I mean, we had some lovely framed photos. You wouldn't get nothing for that now. It's all chipped. It's had bloody.
Because I was in my flat, you know, a couple of weeks ago, and this black hole, I've been looking about with time and relative dimension and space, and this black hole, it opened up, you know, and all my DVDs went in it, and all my box sets, you know, all my Are You Being Served box sets gone in there, Lovejoy's gone in there, Bergerac had gone in. Anyway, I thought it don't matter because I know I'll get it back again. You know, when the black hole closes, it'll spit it all back out again. You know. Yeah. So 4 hours later, I'm sat down, you know, in front of the TV, watching the women's computer hacking from San Diego.
Yeah, it's on Dave, isn't it? Yeah.
It's on the Dave channel, and sure enough, the black holes open up again, and all this stuff comes spitting out, you know, and then all my DVDs come back, and I thought, I better open up my box sets, you know. Well, I open up Are You Being Served? Episode 5 is missing. Episode 10 is missing. Episode 15 is missing.
What they replaced it with?
Well, they've not replaced it with nothing. There's just gaps there. And there's loads of Lovejoy episodes all gone.
Somewhere in 13th century France, someone's trying to work out how to watch Lovejoy. Yeah. You know, that's what's happening.
Who is Captain Peacock, they're saying, you know?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Listen, by the way, what's the weather like where you are?
Oh, mate, it's stifling. I mean, I'm all right because I'm in a private ward with air conditioning, but when I look out the window, it looks stifling. You know, everyone's sweating, etc. You know, what about where you is? What's like there?
Well, but about 7 mile away in Watford. It is ever so. What happened this morning? I thought, they're on the radio going, you've got to keep yourself cool.
Yeah.
Keep yourself. So the only thing I could find, my Margaret's, her brother Roy. He's from Scotland. He come down a while back and he's given me the family's tartan as a kilt. He's gone. The only thing I found to keep myself cool was a flipping kilt.
What is it? Because you can wander about without no pants on.
Without no pants on. Of course, I think someone's having a little game with me. It's very, very short. It's more like a tartan miniskirt. I said, I can't wear that much. She's gone, that's the family tartan. You stick it on.
So it would be nice if it was a bit longer, mate. Family tartan.
It really isn't very long. And I said, you sure it's supposed to? I said, oh no, it's from Fife. Up there, they're traditionally worn like a miniskirt with your ball bag hanging down.
Yeah, I was going to say, because your ball bag is so long, it's probably swinging around your knees for everyone to see it.
At my age, the onion bag will distend.
Yeah, it does descend. Because you normally stick it up in gaffer tape and just sort of roll it around your leg. But when you're in the short like kilt, it's going to just sort of all roll down the side.
It was hellish, and I went on the escalator at Gooch Street. I got my ball bag caught in the moving staircase. That scraped right up. It was.
And then you sat on a tube. You sit right on them.
Yeah, I've sat on them. One of them slipped out and clouted a lady opposite round the face. I said, I'm so dreadfully sorry.
You're lucky. I'll tell you, Bo, you're lucky you didn't get sued, mate.
Well, I tried to I said, this is a traditional tartan of, the Fife region. If you look at this, she was like backing away. I said, I'm so. She had a black eye. She couldn't see the tartan that closely.
And by this time, you had your balls in your hand.
I did. I tried to put them in my bag, and hide them under a metro. But she's had none of it, and then all the guards come up. I had to sprint back up, nuts clacking around like some, clock weights.
Well, this is one of the effects of the hot weather. They don't tell you about that on This Morning. When they tell you to put your suntan lotion on and all that, and make sure you're drinking enough water. They don't say, make sure you don't wear miniskirts, like tartan miniskirts from the Fife region.
Well, no, that's what it's
expose your ball bag.
Well, if you picked up the Evening Standard, here it is. Tips for
the weather. I can't get to an Evening Standard.
If you have a look at page 7, advice for the hot weather. 1, drink some water. 2, if you feel ill, get off the tube. 3, don't wear a very short miniskirt if you're a man of 82 and your ball bag's like a distended clock weight. And above all, number 4, don't sit on them and clout what looked like a foreign lady round the church.
Well, it's good that they're giving advice to pensioners in this hot weather.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that is good.
That is good. How are you coping with the hot weather? I mean, you're lying around, aren't you?
I'm just lying on bed here with my arse out.
Yeah, out the window.
I've got one of them gowns on with no arse.
Yeah, I know.
It wasn't originally like that. It was just a pair of pyjamas, but I cut the arse in the back out of it.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Show a bit of initiative, isn't it?
Yeah.
Show a bit of initiative.
In this hot weather, I said, listen, I don't want to get sweaty and I don't want to be a burden, so I'm just going to shut the back and the arse out of these things.
Out of it,
Incidentally,
And
then, of course, I fell out of bed the other night and I dropped my JPS on the floor, so I had to bend over and pick them up, and there was this almighty scream, from the bed opposite, and I thought, then I remembered I got no arse in my trousers, so he must have seen into the old black hole there.
Well, I was just about to say that. That's what I read in the paper. Didn't his grapes from his side of his table, his water, and his copy of the Daily Mirror disappear into your black hole?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God.
Exactly. But other than that, Barry, I can't complain about this hot weather, we get so little of it, it seems churlish.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It does.
I wonder how our old friend is Debbie Harry's birthday today, 70.
Oh,
Debbie
well, I'm
Harry.
so glad that she's had the weather, you know.
She'll be delighted. And also, coincidentally, it's Harry Debbie's birthday. Remember from the business at
Debbie?
Watford Market, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Barry! You want, yeah. Pickle your ball for a Lambert and Butler. Remember her? Harry Debbie.
Yeah. How old is she?
She's 70 and all, same as Debbie Harry. Harry Debbie is 70 and all. She wasn't. Not so much a Sunday girl, more a Monday to Friday girl, if I remember. You went out
any
with
day of the week, really. I went out with her, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I paid for all her dental work.
Oh, I remember. She had art of glass, didn't she, like Debbie? And knob of butter. What did you pay for her dental work, didn't you? You went out with her for quite a while, old Harry Debbie, didn't you?
Yeah, I went out with her for ages, but when I went out with her, she was addicted to Kendall Mincake.
Oh, I remember.
And heroin.
Yes.
Like all her teeth had fallen out, you know.
Oh, God.
So I said, look, my darling, mate, Angel, I think you're a wonderful woman, and I don't want you looking like that. I'm going to pay for some dental work, you know. But by the time we come to do it, you know, by the time, like, I didn't have much money, so all I could afford really is to buy her one tooth, like, right in the middle on the bottom.
Yeah, I remember.
But
it was something.
It was something, and it was like, because I thought, well, we can only get one, so we might as well make it a really good one. Well, you know? So I got one of them, like, saber-toothed tiger teeth. Yeah. And stuck that in there. She looked magnificent.
Well, it's funny you should say that. Do you remember Kenny Baines? Remember Kenny Baines? Kenny Baines, my neighbour from South.
Do you know Kenny Baines?
He went out with her for a while, and that problem with her teeth, the only thing he could afford was one of them wind-up ones you get from a joke shop. And whenever she wanted something to eat, she'd go, can you get my teeth? And he'd wind them up, and it was, I mean, you took her out to dinner, the meal was over in seconds, but she could not get through a corn on the cob quick, I'll tell you that.
I know, well, this is it, innit? She couldn't chew properly, so them was perfect, wasn't it, really?
Well, that's right, but
them teeth.
And, you know, you had to wind them out in order for her to speak properly. You know, I mean, an evening...
She must have sounded like, what's his name, Norman Collier?
Yes, she did.
Like that, you know.
She was a bit like that. Yeah, so she had the wind-up teeth. And
that one big saber-toothed tiger, like, in the middle of her mouth.
And then, you know, she didn't have... do you remember she only had the one leg?
Yeah.
And the other one had managed to get hold of... It was one of them draft excluders. It was like a snake draft excluder.
Oh, yeah. And so put no weight on it.
They couldn't put no weight on it, but it was a talking point at passes and that. Well, she couldn't talk unless she wind her mouth up, but for everyone else, they could talk about it.
You know, she was one of the best women I ever went out with.
Oh, yeah, lovely.
You know,
what a lovely...
She couldn't say nothing, really, and, you know, she only had that one leg, and you prop her up against the wall and stuff.
Yeah.
But she was magnificent, Harry Debbie.
Oh, she was lovely, Harry Debbie.
So, Debbie Harry, she doing any gigs and that? You going?
I am going, yeah. I got VIP tickets. I'll take Margaret.
Is it?
I'll take Margaret. There's Margaret, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts are going out.
Oh, yeah.
Susie Sue.
Jerry
Halliwell, anyone of that age.
Everyone from that era,
Everyone from that era. Vera Lynn, Edith P.F., Jerry Halliwell. And what we're going to do is we're having... Bodicea. We're going to have
Jerry Halliwell.
a barbecue round at our house.
Are you?
So if you can get
Who's
out...
Who's doing the cooking, Barry? Who's doing the cooking?
I shall do the cooking, thank you very much. Yes.
Yes.
I'll
star of the show.
Do all my lovely stuff. I'll do me nice chicken. You know how I like it, all bloody and that.
Chicken.
Yeah, bloody.
You love it all like crispy and black,
I like
don't
it crispy and black on the outside and nice and bloody on the inside. That's how I like it.
Rock hard.
Yeah, just an element of still frozen, just for the hot weather. You know, on the inside. So carcinogenic on the outside, and of course, salmonella on the inside. That's what I normally do. But if you get out of hospital, come round to Barbie, and I'll guarantee to send you back in.
I'm going to make my own barbecue.
Oh.
I'm going to have my own barbecue. Yeah,
what, in the hospital?
When I get out of here, it's one of the things that's keeping me going, Barry.
Oh, mate.
The thought that when I get out of here, I'm going to have a barbecue, and I'm going to have all my mates come round.
Oh, mate.
You know, and we're going to. Well, I say barbecue. We're just going to get 4 cans of strong lager and a bottle of White Diamond.
Yeah.
Sit in the park and get drunk.
Will there be
We'll call it
a barbecue?
We'll call it a barbecue, and then we'll get a box of fried chicken.
Yeah, well, that's what I said to Margaret. I call it being a VIP guest of Debbie, Harry, and Jonesette and the Blackhearts. But in actual fact, it's more sitting in my garden.
In your garden, with a can of sherry.
With a can of sherry, air in my nutsack. But, if I want to call...
You're going to drag the TV out in the garden?
Yeah.
And women's fishing?
Look, I might do, but, if I want to call a VIP night out with one of this country's and the world's biggest stars, if that's what I want to call it, who's anyone else to say?
Exactly. And what's good is when you send your invites to everybody else to come, you know, you can say, this is what's going on, VIP event, barbecue with all these people. Yeah. And then when everyone else gets there and say, where's Debbie Harry and where's Bodie Shea? Yeah. Where's Susie Quattro? Yeah. You can just say, unfortunately they couldn't come because they're busy and that. One of them's on the bog. Yeah. And what are they going to say, these people?
And you go, but look who's just having a shit behind the hedge. It's Harry Debbie. And she comes out. And they go,
but no one's going to go home, because these people haven't turned up,
Oh, no, exactly.
They're going to stay there and eat your black chicken.
Yeah, black chicken.
Summer, isn't it?
That's summer. Strawberries and cream, Wimbledon.
Swimming
pools, salmonella.
Have you been swimming pool? Barry?
I've been, I say swimming pool. I've got a pool now, you know that.
I know you had you've got a hole in the ground.
It's a hole, and my son's got some of that, tarpaulin. Yeah, done a bit of plaster and Paris down there. And I've been sitting in there paddling. I've got Harry Debbie to put her snake in it. She's rolled up her trousers and put her snake in it.
Yeah, and you put yours in it as well.
Yeah, that was inadvertently. I was just standing over it, and I thought it's gone very cool.
But it's just at the end there. They're all lovely.
Yeah, lovely. But listen, get well, old chum.
Oh, I'm going to get well. Barry. I can't wait to get out of here, Even though there's nothing wrong with me. Yeah. I can't wait, although the food is magnificent.
Oh, is it really?
Yes.
In private, what did I give you for private?
Lunch, I had 2 slices of white bread with margarine.
Oh, nice.
And a bowl of tomato soup out of one of them packets.
Nice.
And a bag of crisps.
Oh, they do like to look after you, don't they, in hospital?
Yeah. Whilst you're convalescing, whilst you're getting well, they feed you very, very well. Yeah. And they make sure you're getting all the nutrition you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And someone's come by with a bottle of Lucozade.
Very nice.
Yeah, the old one though, the old Lucozade with a plastic wrapper over the top that gets all sticky.
When you say it was someone come by, was that to give it to someone else on the ward, or was it for you?
Well, yeah, no, when I say they come by, they dropped it off at the bed next to me, and then I got out
when he was
my
asleep,
bed with my arse hanging out, and then I nicked it, and I took it and put it in my cupboard.
Yeah.
And then when they got looking, I just take a swig out of it.
Well, with a bit of luck, he'll be dead soon.
Aye?
He might be dead soon, the fella next to you. No one will be any the wiser, you know.
Exactly.
And he could probably have he probably got a few quid on his card to watch the telly there and use the phone and all.
Have his gas key.
Yeah, have his gas key. Well, Angelos, I better go.
Well, it's been so. Thank you for ringing me, Barry, in this time of need.
When you come back again, I mean, we got to have something planned for next time. What should we talk about when we next do something for the listeners, you know?
Well, we'll talk about arts, and we'll talk about
politics.
Talk about betting on art. I think you can do that now.
Okay, I've made a list of who we could invite for our next podcast. I've been in touch with their agents.
Oh, right. Who have you been speaking to?
Phil Oakey, agent, said no. Mick McManus, agent, said no.
No.
Gary Lineker, his agent, said no. Barry Humphries, agent, said no.
What about Barry McGuiggins?
Oh, hold on. He said no. David Van Day, yes. David Van Day will do it.
Oh, good.
Jerry Halliwell. Hey? Lembic Opix will do it, but he will be requiring several. I won't say that, so we'll only have to cut it out later. Abu Hamza said he'll get there by hook or by crook. Ban Ki-moon says he's dealing with the Greek thing, but he'll try and get along if he can.
Well, I'm sure he will. I think Lembic Opix, I spoke to him earlier in the week, and then I said, will you come on for like half hour? And that he went, I'll come on for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So, he's got all the time in the world, that one.
Okay. Well, and the rest are, as I say, Freddie Starr, no. Leo Sayer, no. Brian Kent, no. Lindsay Wagner, no. Lindsay Dawn McKenzie, no. Although she did send me a little kiss, so it does.
Oh,
and Graham Garden, no. Bill Oddie, no. It really...
Kimber Taylor?
Yeah, he can't do it neither.
No.
But I'll tell you what, if we can just get Banker, if we can get...
Banker and Boutros?
Yeah, Boutros will come. He's doing something.
What about Benjamin Netanyahu?
He's coming, but he will not sit next to David Van Day.
Oh.
He don't like the smell of the greasy
Well, I think we'll keep Van Day and we'll get rid of Netanyahu. Then I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, listen, get well soon, old chum.
Oh, yeah.
Chin up, mate.
Oh, okay. Thanks, mate. Oh, so nice to speak. Yeah. So nice to hear your voice.
And you too, mate. Bye-bye, old chum.
Oh, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.